Welcome to this video. Today, we're going to discuss your fear of speaking in public and how you can overcome that fear. Of course, I'm Jennifer from jforrestenglish.com, and this channel is dedicated to helping you feel confident speaking English in public so you can take your career and your life to the next level. Now, before we go any further, make sure you subscribe and hit that bell icon so you're notified every time I post a new lesson. Now, let's dive in with this video. Today, let's talk about your fear of speaking English in public, and I'm going to share two simple things that you can do to overcome that fear, and I'm going to tell you a story about how I overcame a specific fear involving communicating in public. Now, the fear that I had involved communicating with people when it came to sales. So selling someone something. A lot of people have that fear, have that intimidation of sales. You're in a very vulnerable position when you do sales because you're opening yourself up to rejection. And when you do sales, you get a lot of rejection. Now, you have to realize that a lot of people's fears when it comes to communicating any message, even though they're not specifically selling something, a lot of their fear comes down to rejection. And their fear that they are going to be rejected if they communicate the wrong thing. So when you have this fear of rejection that you have in sales, you can have that same fear in many other times when you're just speaking in public. Now, this was a fear I had when I first started my business because at that point I had never done sales in my life. It was something that was completely new to me. And when something is new to you, generally there is going to be a fear or a nervousness involved simply because it's new. So if you have fear of speaking in public or giving a presentation or going to a job interview, just know that most likely that's just a normal feeling because you haven't done that specific skill a lot. And the more repetition you have with that specific skill, the easier it will be. So I had this fear of selling because I had never sold in my entire life and I didn't know what it was about. So my fear of sales really came down to my idea of what sales was. And when I thought about sales, what I thought about salespeople, and when I thought about selling, I realized that I had a lot of beliefs about this. So one thing that you can do when you have a fear is think about what beliefs you have about that situation and how those beliefs are influencing your thoughts about that situation. So for example, I had this idea that people that sell things are doing it in a way that really is trying to trick someone. So I had this idea of a used car salesman that is trying to sell you this really terrible car that doesn't even run very well, and they're trying to get a lot of money from you. So in my mind, the salesperson was trying to get money from the other person, but in a dishonest way, in a way that wasn't very truthful or wasn't very good. Now, being a very moral person, that idea really created a lot of feelings of anxiety because I didn't want to go out there and have these conversations with students and try to convince them using tricks or using unfair things to try to get them to buy things from me. That just didn't align with who I was as a person. But then I really started to question that. Is it true? Is that what sales is? Is that what all salespeople do? They just try to trick people and get money from them. And then by questioning that belief, I started to really understand that my image of what sales wasn't accurate. But that image alone was creating a lot of these feelings in me. So when you go to a presentation and you're giving a presentation, you might have all these images like the people, the audience is judging you. They want you to fail. They want you to make a mistake. They're against you. And if you go into the presentation with those feelings, it's going to create a lot of anxiety about that situation. But just question it. Is it true? Does my audience actually want me to fail? Is my audience judging me? Is this a me versus my audience situation? And then when you start to question those fears, I feel instantly you get to change your beliefs, you get to change your thoughts, and then you can decide what that relationship is. So first of all, I questioned my beliefs about what sales is, and I realized my beliefs were inaccurate and they were creating this negative feeling within me, this hesitation within me, which caused me to procrastinate and not want to do the activity at all. So that was a huge part in helping me overcome my fear of sales. Now, the second thing I did was I became very interested in sales. So I became really interested in the subject of sales, not necessarily me selling things, but just the subject of sales in general. What makes a good salesperson? What are some strategies in sales? And I became very interested in the topic and saw it more objectively. And this really helped me change my opinion about it as well and helped me change my thoughts about it. So rather than trying to procrastinate because I didn't want to do it because I thought it was this unmoral thing that involved tricking people for money, I started to become really interested in it as a study, and I wanted to get experience in it. I was reading about all these different techniques you could use, and then I want to try those techniques. So all of a sudden, by becoming interested in sales, I became excited to do sales, and I wanted to talk to students because I wanted to try all the new techniques I was learning and see how they worked. So those two things combined, changing my thoughts by questioning my beliefs and then becoming really interested in the subject, really helped me overcome my fear of sales, which is really just communicating with someone in an area where you're facing a lot of rejection. You're very vulnerable, you're very exposed, but that's how many people feel when they're communicating anything, when they're going to a job interview, when they're giving a presentation, when they're doing any kind of public speaking, is ultimately that fear of rejection, which is why I share with you the story of how I overcame my fear of sales. But as I said at the very beginning, really the fear was predominantly because I just didn't have any experience in sales. I had never done it. And when something is new, it just naturally feels a little scary because we've never done it before. And the more and more and more you do it, just the easier it will become naturally. So of course you need that repetition at the end of the day. So those are some steps and tips and advice that you can do right now with whatever area that you're feeling some fear, some hesitation, or you're procrastinating on when it comes to speaking in public. So hopefully those tips were helpful. If they were, hit the like button, share this video with your friends, and of course subscribe. And let us know in the comments what you found to be the most valuable tip, and perhaps you have a tip of your own that you'd like to share with your fellow students. And if you're a busy professional who's serious about taking your English and your career to the next level, then I want you to go to my website, jforrestenglish.com. There, you'll find a free case study where you'll learn how to feel confident speaking English in public so you can impress your boss and your clients with your message in only 30 days. To get your free case study, simply click the button, enter your name and email, and you'll get instant access to the case study. And until next time, happy studying. All right, hopefully this video gave you some motivation and some encouragement to get out there, take control of your fears, whatever you're feeling some hesitation towards right now, and get some repetition, change your beliefs, and really become interested in whatever it is you're afraid of. And I really think this will help you overcome that fear. And I'll see you in my next video. Bye.